Okay. Turn the light off, please. And up the screen. What was that? Oh. And blinds, please. Blinds, please. Okay. Now this is a driver's ed film. And it's about space cushion. And I hope you enjoy it.
This program will run 14 minutes. During this time, within the United States alone, there will be over
Move the speaker, please.
522 automobile accidents. About 57
Right here in the back.
people will suffer disabling injuries, and probably 2 people will be killed. Well, you see, there are 2,323 car accidents every hour, or 55,757 accidents every day. Most accidents happen because the drivers involved have neither the space nor the time to stay out of trouble. Space is simply an interval between 2 points in time. This driver got caught in the middle. It's not a pleasant way to go. Probably a pretty good driver, no matter what you drive. But one of the best ways to get in trouble is to expect every other driver to be your equal. And to assume they'll react as you would. The difference between being safe and being in danger depends on how much space you have and how much time you have to use it. Both are dependent on speed, your relation to other drivers, and your ability to react. Let's assume you're an average driver. Just how much space will you need to stay out of trouble? We'll demonstrate with a driver reaction braking test. A patrol car has been fitted with a device that will mark the pavement. First, when the passenger fires a signal shot, and then again when the driver hits his brakes. The first shot will be the driver's cue to react. We'll start with a run at 30 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour doesn't seem very fast, but we're traveling at the rate of 44 feet a second. The driver reacts. His reaction time? Good. 3/4 of a second. Traffic cones indicate the powder marks. At 30 miles an hour, the car traveled 33 feet between the time the first signal went off and the time the driver applied the brakes. But then it took another 45 feet to brake to a stop. A total of 78 feet. At 30 miles an hour, this driver's too close. In trouble should there be a panic stop. So he drops back, allowing a space interval of 3 car lengths, or about 60 feet. Let's run the braking test again, but this time at 50 miles per hour. Once again, good reaction time, slightly less than 3/4 of a second. But with the increase in speed, the driver traveled 55 feet before hitting the brakes. It took another critical 133 feet to come to a stop. At 50 miles per hour, reaction distance plus braking distance equaled 188 feet, more than twice the distance in the 30-mile-an-hour test. In these tests, the car's brakes and tires were in excellent condition. Faulty brakes or worn tires would add to these distances, and the addition could be fatal. Our driver was a trained professional, alert, anticipating a braking signal. But lack of sleep, illness, certain prescription drugs, or a few drinks would add to the reaction distance. And the results could be disastrous. Space is the cheapest insurance a driver can buy, and it costs nothing. We always need that extra space, because none of us is alert all the time. In bad weather, when roads are slippery or you can't see as well, slow down a bit. You never know when you'll need that extra time, that greater cushion of time and space afforded by slower speeds. Under any condition, the space ahead of you is the easiest to control. What happens when you don't allow enough space? To demonstrate, we set up a special test under official supervision. The cars identified as A, B, C, and D are roped together with a variety of following distances, ranging from 100 feet to only 30 feet, to force a chain reaction collision. The Highway Patrol sets the pace, 47 miles per hour. The signal for a panic stop will be a powder charge set off by the roadside. Now let's see what happened. Prior to running the test, it was assumed that D would hit C, C, B, and so on. It didn't work that way, but then it doesn't on the highway either. Accidents are never pat and predictable. C lost its power brakes, and it smashed into B. D, with only 30 feet to react, impacted C. A might have escaped. However, the combination of older cars, worn brakes, and varying reaction times trapped it in the forces of the moment, and all four meant disaster. are professionals with proper safety equipment and harnesses. They're in fine shape. But cars are not. If there had been enough space between these cars, they'd be driving away. But how close is too close? Some drivers allow one vehicle length for every 10 miles per hour of speed. 50 miles per hour, 5 car lengths. But there's an easier way to determine the space cushion you need at different speeds. It's called the 2-second rule. First, pick out a fixed object ahead, a parked car, phone pole, tree, or anything stationary, for example, that freeway sign. As soon as the rear of the car ahead of you passes the fixed point, count 2 seconds. If you haven't passed the point yet, you're okay. You can approximate 2 seconds by counting 1001, 1002. Let's try it at 30 miles an hour using that van as a marker. 1001, 1002. It's that simple. Now let's increase the speed to 45 miles an hour without changing the following distance. 1001, 1000, too close. The speed increased, but the following distance didn't. And the 2-second rule says, drop back. The space behind you is harder to control, but try to keep out of the way of persistent tailgaters. At the first opportunity, change lanes and let him pass. If he won't, you should slow down to allow yourself extra space so you won't have to brake suddenly. The space beside you is also hard to maintain, especially in heavy traffic. But think in terms of having an escape route. Can you change lanes? Is there room to escape to the right or to the left? If you can, try to avoid driving with 2 cars directly on either side of you. Give yourself an out, wherever you are. Can you avoid the car door suddenly opened in your path? The unexpected jaywalker? Keep checking the situation and drive accordingly. The most dangerous and foolhardy violation of the space-time principle is passing on a hill you can't see over, or a curve you can't see around. Your escape route could be by the skin of your teeth. Or if there isn't enough space, there may be no escape. Wait a minute. If this driver had given himself the time and the space to avoid trouble, this accident never would have happened. Neither would most of the 522 car accidents that have taken place while this film was running. Many of the 57 people who were injured need not have been hurt at all, and perhaps no one would have been killed. Drivers are different. You have to be prepared for anything. All you need is a little insurance, and this insurance is the biggest bargain yet. It's free. It's the insurance of space. Space to react. take action. Space to stay out of trouble.